You're just
You're good. Well, it was a fun last 6 or 7 minutes. I know that. Most of the rest was hard, but give our kids a lot of credit. We just kept playing. Tech is, they're hard to play against the way they play with all their zones. And, we didn't make threes tonight very well, but we got the ball in the middle and did some things in the middle of the zone. It was good. Obviously, Naz made some great plays at the end of the game. That was a huge key. I thought David was excellent, especially early. I thought he was giving us a lot of juice, and we just kind of kept hanging in there and had a bunch of guys make plays or contribute at least to a very hard fought win. So, proud of my team again, and these guys they're giving us everything we have, or they have. Questions?
Coach, that last possession for Tech, was there a thought about fouling once the time got below like 5 seconds?
No, we did not that time. I've done everything. I fouled, I've not fouled, and I fouled and lost. I fouled one, I've not fouled and won, and not fouled and they've made a three. I've done about everything you can do in the 20 years I've been a head coach, but no, we felt good about where we were. There was too much time to foul right away. And then they're kind of in the front court, and that all sounds good, but you watch as many games as we watch, and there's a lot more times when the ball's down in the front court where it gets 5-6 seconds, and kids are starting to go into their windup now, and you're fouling, and you watch guys give up 3 shots. So we had them guarded well. We were in front of them, and I thought did a reasonable job.
On the Bohannon winner, what was that play to go to him and get him to go strong?
Yeah, well, we had a man play and a zone play when we came out of the timeout, and it wasn't really a play. It was just concepts, and we told our guys a couple things to look for. One being Naz in the paint, and if we could get it to him, we wanted him to make a play, and he made a great play. I mean, I've told you guys, your kids have to make plays at the end of games more times than not. And when they make them, you look like a really good coach. And when they don't, then you don't. But really, more times than not, it's about a player making a good play as opposed to coaches calling some great plays. You're always going to have a player or two that you call. We made a couple of good calls, and we made a good man call for Naz and got him an and one earlier, a couple possessions earlier. But that was playing out of concepts, and he just did a great job. Finished a strong play.
Was it a tough decision whether to play Hunter tonight or whether or not?
No, doctors had said, "Hey, it's up to this week. We'll see how it goes." He did some 5-on-0 late last week. Practiced Monday and Tuesday, and Dr. Bowman and those guys gave him the clearance, like, "Hey, if he thinks he can do it." It's hard though. He did pretty well. I don't know that he would have been, ready to play 30 minutes. There were a couple of times I pulled him out. One time he was gassed and, made a huge defensive error. And it's like, hey, you're exhausted. I got to get you out, and obviously the first time you go in, it's fun just talking to him. He's like, yeah, that first 3 or 4 minutes, felt like my freshman year again, a little bit where I'm all excited and nervous and, haven't played in a month. And I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard for PJ if he comes back Saturday or at the tournament. It'll have been 2 weeks. And when you don't practice very much and you're not in a game, it feels different. So, I was glad that Hunter could play, this week so that he has hopefully a little more confidence and he's a little more comfortable for the tournament. We'll see with PJ.
Fred, do you feel like you guys are getting pretty good shots the first 30 minutes or so?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were getting some decent, we were very efficient in the paint. Our 2-point game was really good. We missed some threes. And I mean, there was a couple that were rushed. I'm sure there were, 4, maybe 3 or 4 that I can think of that I didn't love. And some of it's their defense. Some of it's us being a little impatient. And then I can easily think of 5 that were pretty wide open that, we need to probably make 2 more of those. Right. And, it's like, it's so small, you make 8, that's only 2 more That's it's 35%. It's solid, in a game like this, out of all the ones you missed, but give them credit. They do a good job defensively and change a bunch of things on you. And, it's not easy to develop rhythm, and our guys just kind of hung in there. So I was very pleased.
David was obviously great on the offensive end,
Yeah.
season high. Also drew a couple of big charges there at the
Yeah.
end. He said that he couldn't feel pain out there at all, but has he been practicing one?
Yeah, he has. He's had a thigh that's been bothering him most of the year. He got hit in the calf last week. And he's kind of a big body dude. And he's one of those guys that he's so physical with how he plays. He's involved in so much contact all the time. Rebound, goes for every ball. He dives for every loose ball. He runs through screens. I mean, he's a physical player. And because of that, there's going to be wear and tear on his body. I mean, just the way he plays and the way his body is. And so, we've tried to occasionally give him some days off. And was it last week? I don't think he practiced before either the BC or one of those games. He didn't practice either day. I wasn't sure I think it was
Weight game,
the weight game. I wasn't sure he's going to play. And, but he was better this week. The Sunday day off really helped. Got good treatment, just day of nothing, a little bit lighter on Monday, pretty good practice on Tuesday, ready to go. So that was important.
Because you talked about bringing in David and Naz, some maturity, and some of that physicality. I mean, do you feel like they were basically what they mean to your team?
Yes, they were huge in the win tonight, right? We don't win the game without them. They're just older players that made plays when you need them, right? Confident to do it, comfortable in the moment, and physical enough to do it kind of tough, like in the paint, not making a three, but like taking it through somebody. Aggressive, older, mature players, tough players. And tonight was a win because of them.
Is that as confident as you ever seen Naz in terms of just?
There's been some other games when he's played like that, maybe not quite as aggressive to score all the time, obviously, but he's had little stretches where he'll make 2 or 3 baskets in a row, or he'll make 2 baskets and 2 good passes. He's an intriguing player. Like he's not a guy that's going to shoot a bunch of shots from the perimeter. He'll shoot one every once in a while, and he probably makes more than everybody showed. Like in practice, he makes more than you think. But then he kind of like, he's been a guy that's played that way his whole life. And so he's never shot a bunch of threes. And so he's always played at 17 feet, and he's comfortable, and he makes a lot of good basketball plays in tight spaces. And I think that's a credit to his experience and him playing that way all the time, where some guys aren't very comfortable in those spaces.
I know this stat until everything, but Ben Middlebrook is plus 16 in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You think
I thought he did some nice things for us, defensively. Maybe this first time in, he was solid. Then there was another time he came in, I thought he really upped it. We kind of needed to do a little better job of applying a little more pressure. I thought we were just a little on our heels and not quite as aggressive as we should have been. I thought he did some nice things that way. Great to see him finish one in there, and he actually made a good pass for an assist. And then again, like I've said, he and Ian do a good job rebounding. I don't know what Ian have tonight. 6. Ian had 6. What Ben had? Ben only had 1. But those kids can rebound for their position. They do a pretty good job rebounding. So they're aggressive, physical. They're doing a nice job.
Coach, senior day on Saturday against a really good Virginia Tech team. I
Yeah,
haven't played them this season. Have you been able to see them much in your scouting?
Oh yeah. You see them all the time because they're playing cross teams, and you just, watch parts of the game when it's on, and they're playing their best basketball right now. They're playing with a ton of confidence. Obviously they got a lot to play for. They're still, fighting for an at-large bid. Just very experienced group. I mean, their big guys are Aluma and Mutz are excellent. I mean, they're smart, they're tough, they can score, they can pass. I mean, they just, 2 grad guys that have been through the wars together. And then their guards do a nice job. I mean, they got guys that can make threes. They got 2 point guards that are playing very well together. You start combining stats of when guys kind of play the same position, and you look at pretty productive. So not a surprise. Mike's coaching them great. They got a good group, older group. They'll be a real challenge for us. But I encourage us to have a good turnout for Saturday. We've got a bunch of guys that we're going to honor who've, especially Hunter and Parker Fox, 2 4-year guys, David and Naz for 1 year, but good group that has really hung in there this year. Hope we have a good turnout.
Has Hunter decided if he's going to come back next year?
Not 100%. No, he's still, mulling the situation. I think he'll make a decision fairly soon, but we'll see.
Naz and David both said, like, hey, our goal is the NCAA tournament still.
Yeah.
But you talk to them involved, big picture, like, hey.
Just, what I did, when was it? It was at one point, I tell you what it was, might have been right before we went to Florida State. I talked to our team about the fact that I thought when we play our best and we have everybody, we can play with the best teams in the league. And obviously we've done that. We lost by 2 at Duke. Notre Dame's the team that has probably beaten us soundly twice. We lost 2 to North Carolina, had a close game with Miami. Some of the better teams in the league, we've battled them. And if we can just start playing our best basketball at the end, you get to Brooklyn, you never know. You can get hot. Some guys start shooting it well. Something can happen. So, our team kind of, when we had that discussion, you kind of sit them down and explain to them, I know we're down. I know we're disappointed. I know we're not 100% healthy. Hopefully Hunter's going to come back. Hopefully, PJ will start feeling better at some point. You're constantly trying to give them some hope. And, but we had some evidence of some good play. The hardest part in these jobs sometimes when you're not quite as talented as some of the better teams in the league is you can play really well and lose. And, that can happen to you, or then you don't play as well and you definitely lose. And so then you keep your spirit up and your practice habits good. That's not easy. And so that's why I'm proud of this group. These guys we've had good practices, good attitudes, haven't always played great, have shot it poorly some, but we've hung in there and now we've had a nice little stretch here.
How close PJ is? Is he close?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of day to day. It's really all on him. I mean, when he feels like he can do it, he'll do it. He hasn't felt like he could do it. He's not going to just do it a game. Like he's going to have to do it in at least practice for a day or, see what it's like. We'll see what tomorrow looks like. I don't know. All good?
Sure.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all coming.
Shaking, man. Congrats.